Hi, my name is David, and today I would like to talk about a book that has really helped me a lot. It was a gift from a dear friend, and the book is called The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. You may know it. And the reason why I want to talk about it is I've been using this book to help me with my daily affirmations, which I do in the morning, to rescript myself, to reprogram myself and deprogram some of the beliefs and conditioning and programming that I received when I grew up from elders in school and other peers. And so today I'd like to go over the Four Agreements, and I love this book, and it's helped me a lot, as I said, but I believe that there's a couple of small tweaks we could do here. Okay, so let's start with the Four Agreements. The first of the Four Agreements is to be impeccable with your word. So what does that mean? That means to speak accurately. And it also means to think before you speak and to really process what somebody has said to you, or what somebody has asked of you, or some other stimulation that has occurred to warrant a verbal response from you. And it means focusing on every single word that comes out of your mouth, because those words have a vibratory impact on the recipient. Those words will affect the other person. In fact, those words could affect the other person for the rest of their life. And so that's why it's very important to be impeccable with your word. And this is something that I personally had to work on a lot. I'm not perfect, I'm still working on it, but it's something that I believe can help a lot of people, especially today when, you know, we have leaders who speak in certain tones and speak certain ways to inflame other people, get reactions out of other people, and we don't have to be like that. We're better than that. So be impeccable with your word. The second is to don't make assumptions. So when you make assumptions, you're creating an image in your mind of another person, another event, another thing that may not accurately reflect what that is, what that thing is, what that person is. And so what that means is, to go into it more deeply, to really understand what you're looking at, instead of just taking for granted the visual image that is delivered to you by your vision, by your eyes. And the reason that's important is because the eyes are the primary delivery mechanism for a reality, or as some may say, the illusion that we call our reality. And it's important that we verify, but also that we control what we see. There used to be there is a saying, seeing is believing. But we all know the stories of famous people who used visualization to be successful in their lives, like Jim Carrey putting a check for $10 million for services rendered into his wallet, and then finally producing Dumb and Dumber and getting that $10 million. And the check was all dog-eared and torn by that time. So it's very important that we believe what we see, and that means looking into things. The third of the Four Agreements is to not take things personally. Don't take things personally. And this generally means to understand that other people are on their own path. They have their own life journey. They have their own lessons to learn. They have their own experiences that they want. They have different desires than you. They may have something that they're working on right now, which is a complete odds to something that you're doing. And for this reason, there's not a lot of overlap. You know, we know when we get synchronicity when there's a lot of overlap, when we can share a portion of ourselves to collaborate with somebody else to get the experience we both desire. And that's a win-win. Sometimes, though, it's not win-win. Sometimes on that overlapping path, there is stress, there is divergence. And what we need to do is to not take things personally at that point in time. This is something I have to tell myself regularly because I'm susceptible to taking things personally. And I may be collaborating with somebody on a project, and we may have tons of overlap, tons of enthusiasm, tons of passion, but it's not 100%. I am not that other person. And they're on their path, I'm on my path. And moreover, working together means collaboration, means 1 + 1 = 3. And so we mustn't take things personally. We must always go back to who we are. And then number 4 is always do your best. This is something that my mom instilled in me. She was British. She would speak with a Cockney accent. And she said, you always have to do things properly. But she wouldn't say it that way. She said something like, you have to do things properly. You have to do things properly. So if you're going to do something, do it properly. You know, that's the pride of your work. That's the expression of your life force in the product of your labor or your imagination or whatever it is. Do the best that you can do. What that also means is that if you're doing the best that you can do, don't beat yourself up if it's not 100%. Your best now is not going to be the same as your best after you've done something for a while, or you've done something over and over again. So these are the 4 agreements, and I put these in my morning affirmations, in my scripts. But what I would like to talk about today is a couple of these agreements, because there's a lot of research to show that negatives such as no, not, and contractions like don't and can't are not well processed by the human brain. And this is something that research has shown. A lot of research has been done on this, and it does depend on sentence structure, and that's very technical. So the easiest thing, if you want to make the best impact, is to avoid these negatives, no and not, and don't and can't. So what I've done in my rewriting of the 4 agreements for my personal use, and I'm sharing this because I think it might be useful for others, is I've rewritten these 2 of the 4 agreements. So this one, don't make assumptions, I've rewritten this as always be certain. So what that means is to look into something as much as you can to find out what the truth is for you. Now, obviously, it's going to be impossible to get 100% of the information to be able to have 100% confidence that your position is fact. And really, the truth is different for every single person anyway. You have a car accident, 3 witnesses, the insurance company interviews them all. Every single witness has a different perspective on how the accident occurred. Does that mean they're all liars? Does that mean they're all wrong? No, not at all. So the insurance company doesn't want to make assumptions. But for the purpose of reprogramming our mind, rescripting ourselves, I prefer always be certain for this second of the 4 agreements. So Don Miguel Ruiz, excuse me, but I believe that this should be rewritten as always be certain. And the next of the 4 agreements also has this contraction in it. Don't take things personally. And you see the risk here is that somebody reads this and they read it quickly. They're not focused. And these days, people are reading less. They listen to audiobooks, they watch videos. And so it's really important, again, going back to number 1, to be impeccable with your word, because short sentences, clear, concise, precise use of your language is important to convey your message efficiently and accurately. And so if somebody looks at this and reads it too quickly, they might just make assumptions, and they don't perceive or consume the don't. So you don't want to be scripting yourself, make assumptions. That's the opposite of what the purpose of this affirmation is. And the second one is similar. Don't take things personally. Well, what if your brain is reading this quickly and it says, oh, take things personally? Again, that's the wrong kind of scripting. That's not the optimal outcome. And so we would rewrite this one also to say, always be objective. So this number 3 here, so the new number 2 and new number 3 are here. And I've got a few other affirmations that I do besides this, but these ones I really like. And there's another book by Don Miguel Ruiz called the 5th Agreement. And anyway, all of this content is in the public domain. You can look it up on Wikipedia, for example. And anyway, that in a nutshell is how I rewrote Don Miguel Ruiz's wonderful book on the 4 agreements in a way that I felt would be more impactful, more efficient, and overall better for me to receive the result that I want in doing my daily affirmations. So anyway, I hope you found this useful or interesting, and feel free to let me know if you have any other ideas of how to rewrite these 2, because I'm always improving. I'm always rewriting my affirmations, making them, optimizing them, so to speak. So anyway, thank you very much for your interest and your time today, and happy affirmations.